Welcome back to another installment of the Create as Well podcast. I'm your host, Justin Reeves, and today I have the phenomenal, the amazing, the prophetic gift that is Jasmine Sims. She claims she's a poet, but really she's an oracle from God. Someone told me to put that in her bio. I'm not doing that. But, hello, Jasmine.
What's up?
This is weird. We've been talking for like the past 3 hours, so
Don't need to know that.
we are just, this is an honest space. We have transparency and vulnerability here. So, here on the Create as Well, we talk to Christian creatives and entrepreneurs, and you are both, whether you knew it or not. She does need supervision in all of her exploits, but that's also where I come in. So, I just want to talk to you mainly about boldness and creativity because I believe you are someone who is very bold. You don't let a lot of things stop you. I don't really think you let anything stop you. So just a way to encourage other creatives, encourage the body at large if necessary. And yeah, so ask me a question first. Go ahead. Just anything. Ask me anything.
What in the world? If you had to give up your knees or your elbows, which one would you give up?
My knees.
Why?
So I have to eat. I need my elbows. One more. Because I think of my questions to get to you, so yeah.
Oh.
This is the issue when I know the guests very well.
Lord have mercy. A deep question or just a question?
Just a question. It could be deep. Not too deep with you. She wanna know why black men are depressed. So
What's the last dream you had?
Next question. Well, I can say it. It was just, it's not like a happy dream. It's more like a nightmare.
Okay.
It was a dream. So I was dreaming that I had an event coming up, and then there was a picket line outside of the event. And then the people that were inside of the event were like, we're going to go join the picketers. So it was like the supporters, the internal supporters, joined the rioters. And then I just sat inside with me and the sound guy. And we just ran through the event with me and the sound guy.
Okay, last question, because that nigga really sad.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Do you have an internal monologue?
Yeah, we talk all the time.
Did you know some people do not?
That's impossible.
Some people don't have an inner monologue.
So what do they do?
It's more like an unction. Like when they're hungry, instead of your brain saying, I'm hungry, they'll just feel the hunger and go make them something to eat.
Are they slow?
No. It's just the way everybody doesn't, it's the way your brain is wired. It's not a common thing. And some people, like, when I say think of an apple, what type of apple do you think of?
The red apple, because everyone else thinks of a green apple.
But I'm saying, like, is it a realistic apple? Is it a cartoon apple?
No, it's like an apple that I would get from the store.
So even that, different people visualize different types of apples.
I have been asked the apple question several times, and I think everyone always says green, so I decided to start saying red. Golden.
So is that what you thought of, or you just changed it?
A Fiji apple, actually, or Honeycrisp, because those are applesauce apples.
But now you're intentionally being different.
So, so this year we've been focusing on the journey. We all know that creativity is not something that happens and stops. It's something that's constantly, that you're learning and unlearning, that you're molding, you're morphing, all the things. So, could you give us a little bit of your journey?
Sure. I've always been a writer, a storyteller. So I've always done that. I would write stories as a kid. I would tell stories as a kid. I think in college, I realized the potential for it to be something full-time and not just a hobby. And so really it was just about me using the skills and the things that I had in my hands to do to kind of make this thing work. And so part of my journey is a lot of it is tied to my emotional health. And so when I'm not creating, I go into an emotional slump. I feel like depression is just waiting for me when I'm not creating, when I'm not telling stories, when I'm not doing something that I feel is a part of my passion.
Okay. And so with that, when you get in those slumps, how do you get out?
Create.
Is there anything in particular that you lean into, or is it just like any sort of creation?
Any sort. I cannot paint, but I will pick up a paintbrush and a canvas.
You can't paint?
Mm-mm.
Have you tried?
Mm-hmm. Abstract. But if you want a mountain landscape,
I feel like
I ain't Bob Ross.
That's like the who?
Bob Ross. Happy little tree. Do it from. Wow, I can't believe I know someone that you don't. Put a sticker by my name.
Oh, he's white. Oh, that's why.
Don't do that.
Our producer told me that. This is a black podcast, if you didn't know.
Black folks love Bob Ross, I think. Don't look at him. Don't look over there.
No, it was really my internal monologue was saying, should you say what's going to come up next of your mouth? And I was like,
You shouldn't.
I'm going to say it anyway. So Jasmine doesn't know a lot of popular people in general. And she happens to mispronounce people's names often. So that's where that came from. But she was like, oh, I know something that you don't know. But I won't call them out because...
Oh, please don't.
Starting the tour, I think I was asking what was the inspiration behind starting the tour and what was the hurdle to begin the tour?
The hurdle's easy. Money.
Mm.
Help. But help came. Look at them. Look at my help. The inspiration for the tour, I am a plant mom. And I found like plants had a lot of lessons. And plants be preaching. I had a whole Instagram thing for a minute there, but you know me, I be switching it up. So I had a whole thing on plants be preaching, just talking about the lessons and metaphors for plants and how essentially I feel like we are gardens. I mean, we come from dust. A lot of the human body is things that you can find on the planet. And so the premise of the tour was basically
I came
communicating.
from quality dirt, not dust.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
Ashes to ashes.
Ooh.
Dusty to dusty. So I feel like so I feel like we are gardens. There's a lot of metaphors and life lessons that can be taken from an agricultural perspective of ourselves in life.
So in creating the idea of the garden and like this entire tour that was based upon it, was an amazing show, and I'm not just saying that because I was there, but it was like you took people like really through like a horticultural experience. Like I don't think people really quite knew what they were gonna get. I didn't really know what I was gonna get either. But I think like what do you think separated your tour of the garden versus like a regular experience, if that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like what, because you have a lot of intentionality, and I think that's an important thing for creatives. Like we have to make sure that if we're doing something, we're not just doing it. So like what were some of the things that you did that were very intentional to make sure that it was an experience, that it wasn't just like, oh, we're doing a garden, but like it, like literally you were in a garden?
I think for me, one of the biggest things is trying to hit on all five senses. And so visually, I wanted you to see things that connected you to a garden. As far as scents, I tried, child, to have like, my last show in particular, we did some plugins to kind of create this aroma. I don't know how strong it was, but I tried.
You did that?
We had plugins, because I know you had allergies.
She was trying to give me that real plans, y'all. She was trying to kill the tour manager.
My perfume had like floral and fruity notes in it. So I smell good. I smell good about it. The sound, obviously, through storytelling and different things like that.
I think sight.
Sight.
Oh, yeah.
I did sight.
Did you?
Sight.
I don't know my
Scent.
five senses.
Touch. I have flowers.
Feel?
Touch.
That's touch. But I can do calculus in the budget.
You can't do calculus. As far as touching, I wanted 3D, so I had flowers on my mic stand. I had flowers just
Everywhere.
You were in the garden. Taste, I didn't do too much tasting. There was food at about 2 events. There were some snacks available. And so, I mean, I try to do 5 senses as much as I can, but again, budget. And so things had to be kind of condensed. So the next tour, all 5 senses. For the VIP, I had the floral paper with words on it, and they could plant the paper, and flowers would bloom from the paper. I took words from the audience, so you felt like you were also creating something with me. And I think one thing that sets me apart is, as much as I care about what I'm producing on stage, I care about what the audience is taking home. And so I just feel like so many times in this life we are miserable. We get cute and we go to these spaces and we have a good time for a couple of hours and we go home just as miserable. And I won't claim to change anybody's situation or life in a couple of hours, but it is always my intention to leave you with something.
Do you plan for people to cry at every event?
I don't. I don't.
We had to start getting tissues because people were
There was water in the garden.
a weeping mess.
That's not my fault. These are things that are pent up, that are undealt with.
And you unleashed the fence.
It's not my fault.
Kate.
That's not my fault. Because it's pent up. So if we're addressing our things ahead of time.
So when you create things, do you have a goal for the audience to receive in mind? Like if this happens, you feel that you succeeded, or not?
No. Because I feel like in some instances while I'm on stage, I do feel tapped into certain people and their emotions and their scenarios. And so sometimes it's simply this person will need, or I can feel them needing a release. This person, I can feel them needing to be told something specific. And so there are little moments like that I have. But other than that, I don't really plan to anticipate reactions or needs. It's more so in the moment.
Definitely in the moment, because you will have people crying. And
That was never my intention.
You come touch the people and be like, just let it out. Let it out.
Crying is healthy.
It is healthy. So, do you have any creative inspirations? Like how are you?
What you mean?
How are you?
How?
How? It's one of the big question words.
How am I me?
Yeah. Like, do you have like a creative ideology? What governs this? Because, and I think the root of
No, go ahead.
No, the root of the question is, I think that we're recording this a little late at night, so I'm getting a little unhinged, I guess. But I think the root of this is that there are creatives, there are lazy creatives, and there are intentional creatives. And I think most people believe that they are in the intentional, or at least like the middle ground. But in reality, a lot of people are really at the first step. We'll call it the first step. The first step.
Okay.
Yeah. So how did you not become a lazy creative? How did you move past to this very intentional, this very thoughtful, this very precise creative?
Ooh, I think this disillusionment.
That's a big word. Say more.
Like, I think starting off, there is this entitlement that we feel. That because we have a gift, people are entitled to support. That because we have family or friends, they're entitled to support. And my mom told me a long time ago, she was like, do not expect the people closest to you to be your supporters or your audience. It's like oftentimes it's people who do not know you. It's people who are far away, who are going to pour into you, and who you are going to pour into. And that's no shade on anybody. That's just the way it is. And so this entitlement too of, just because I know somebody who's on a platform, I can't expect a handout. Right. I can't expect a shout out. Like, I'm not owed anything because I have a gift. Because I'm good at. So what? Do you know how many good people there are in this world?
Not many.
How many? But I'm saying, like, how many people are like in the subway who could sing down some of the greatest people? Like that. There's tons of good people. The Lord was handing out gifts like peanuts at a baseball game. Like, there are so many people who are gifted and who are talented. And so for me, I had to come to a place where I'm like, if I fail, that's nobody's fault. Nobody will ever be able to take credit for my failure, for my downfall, or for my success. As a collective, sure. They can say, we supported her and we helped her. Sure. I'm not self-made. But no one person can ever say they carried me on their back. Or can say that they broke me. T-shirt person, ain't make my shirts. Don't trip. I'll order the heat press. Somebody messed up my flyer. Don't trip. I got Canva. Like, who gonna stop me?
Not the claps.
I just be confused. Like, every excuse that I have given myself, there's a solution. There's a solution.
So there's often this, thank you for that. There's often this thought with creatives that, like, this, in my opinion, it's a false dichotomy. We'll see what you have to say. That you're either logistically sound or creative. And the logistical people are the people who find solutions. They're the people who can just make stuff happen. Creative people are more of the visionaries, the people with ideas. I feel like what we are seeing today, and amongst people that we've seen, mentored, worked with, or whatever the case is, they will almost use their creativity as a crutch. Like, I'm so creative, I'm in the clouds all the time. I don't know how to do the thing, or whatever it is. So, like, what advice, if any, would you have for that creative that feels that they're almost, that there's nothing in them that can do the actual execution portion?
Figure it out.
But what if, like, can everybody figure it out?
Yes. You ain't know how to walk when you got here.
Oh.
You ain't know how to talk when you got here.
Some people still can't talk.
That job you applied for, you had to go through training to get it. I feel like a lot of times you have to do what you don't want to do until you can do what you can do. I don't like sending emails. Does that mean that I'm never going to send an email? No, that means when Justin came, I'm going to show my appreciation.
And
my
she
gratitude.
surely didn't use exclamation marks or anything.
Period.
They
Like,
were
when I
the
was
angriest.
cold-blooded.
They were the angriest.
Good morning. Here is my bio. But I also just feel like, when you get to heaven and God says, what did you do with the gifts that I gave you? And you look at him and go, I didn't have anyone to make a flyer for me. I don't know. I'm not logistical. I don't have any administrative gifts. Do you think God's going to say, you right?
Not the God I serve.
I just don't feel like there's a valid excuse we can give God for why we did not utilize the gifts and passions that he gave us. And if that's not enough incentive, then cool. Live your life, player. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, and maybe I'm delusional and I just was given the figure it out spiritual gift that was listed in the back of the glossary of the Bible and not in the text.
Okay.
But that's my point. Like, we can figure out a whole lot of things. We know how to figure out a whole. No, I just feel like there's no time for excuses.
Okay.
If you want it bad enough, you'll do it.
I agree. So, other than excuses, what things do you think that creatives use that, like, halt their progress?
Comparison.
Okay. Can there be any healthy comparison?
Absolutely.
What would be an example of healthy comparison?
I think a healthy comparison would be a tour, for example, right? Like, maybe there is a poet who never considered they could do a solo tour. And so now you're comparing, looking at what you've done, what you're able to do, and are you able to do a solo tour? I think I was partly crazy. Like, I'm the only face of the flyer. I think, like, comparing yourself to people who are doing things that are outside of your own comfort zone, that would kind of challenge you and push you, not to mimic, but to just try to push your ideas a little bit wider.
So, the comparison thing is interesting. Do you think it's worthwhile to have creatives that are similar to you in your orbit? So, like, we're not the same at all. I think that's perfect. But I feel like I get a lot of inspiration from you. I feel like you truly help me. Do you think it's helpful to have people who are creatives, but like with different gifts around you, or like you're a poet, you're a writer, like so should you just surround yourself around a whole bunch of writers, a bunch of poets? Like what do you think there?
I don't think you should ever surround yourself around a whole bunch of other yous. I think you need the challenge. I think you need the shift in perspectives and angles. I feel like creativity, inspiration can be found in anything, whether you guys share the same passion or not. I think it's healthy.
Yeah. So who are, this interview is all over the place, because if you had to do, okay, black people don't normally do well with these kinds of games, but we're gonna break the
I'm
stereotypes
already
today.
failing. Go ahead.
Okay, so you know Mount Rushmore?
Mm-hmm.
So there are 5 faces on Mount
Oh,
Rushmore.
God.
If you, 4? We're gonna do 5 today.
Why?
Because in my mind, they're supposed to be 5.
I
Really?
don't even know who's on the original Mount
I
Rushmore.
don't know. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, some other dead presidents. I don't know. So we'll figure that out later. So if you guys have your top 5
Previous
creatives,
question.
top 5 creatives that you either get inspiration from, or that you just really like what they do.
So here's the problem with that.
Uh-oh. We're back to black people not being able to play
I
this
don't
game.
get a lot of inspiration from other people. I get inspiration from like things and encounters.
So top 5 encounters.
The ocean.
Which one?
I don't remember. I was in Cali. Whatever which one
So that would be the Pacific.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pacific.
Okay. Next. You got one?
Oh my gosh. The ocean, children. Background noise, like a coffee shop or just like out on the street.
How does background noise inspire you? That's interesting. First 2 that's something.
Because if you think about it, it's kind of like the soundtrack to everything. It's something that is always around you. Like when you're in a coffee shop, you hear people talking, you hear the coffee machine.
You hear that?
Yes, you don't? The cars driving past. The
I
sound
think
of the
because
door
I'm an
opening.
only child, I just don't.
What does that have to do with anything?
Maybe I just want to tell people I was an only child. I don't know.
I
But like, I feel like
don't hear the coffee machine. You know, I'm an only child.
there was no noise in my house growing up because it was just me. So
None? The outside, the birds.
I was inside.
You still can't hear the birds?
They had good window panes, my parents.
You never had like a leaky faucet, a creak. Does your house make noise? You know how like the wood groans and it makes noise.
It was a new house.
All right.
What are you saying? We're breaking the 4th wall here. What are you saying?
I was like, you never heard the clock in your house?
Oh, so my parents have, my mom specifically, she has clocks in her house, like wood clocks,
Mm-hmm.
and they would go off. I do not hear them.
Really?
One of my best friends, Clay, is a musician, and he used to be so frustrated with all the clocks going off because they were in different keys
You
apparently.
never heard them.
I heard them like the first night,
That's so interesting.
so maybe my internal monologue is broken.
But there were no common noises associated with your home. Did your mom sing? Did your dad laugh? Like the things that you heard every morning. Did you the shower running at the same time because they're going to work? You looking at me like.
Because I'm like, I'm really trying to think. The most noise I hear in my parents' house is the dogs barking. And my parents love each other. It's not like they don't speak, but just sit here thinking, this sounds very sad.
No, I'm saying things like on. I'm not saying like they never spoke.
They just sound
I'm
like we
saying,
have a quiet
things
house.
things that work like clockwork. Like your mama woke up at 6, so there's a shower. There's the door closing. Was there anything that you could bet on hearing at a certain time every day?
No,
That is so interesting.
I don't think so. I'm going to have to call them.
Not call them. What about you? What about now in this house?
Just when I didn't change the battery in the smoke detector. But even that, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that
So
either.
you tone out common.
Like people would call me and be like, change your smoke detector. I'd be like, what? Oh yeah, I haven't done that.
So interesting.
Anyway, that was 3. Okay. Ocean.
Ocean, children, background noise,
That's great.
childhood, my personal childhood. or like adolescence years.
And my childhood was glad, but
And church, because that's the majority of my experience.
I think church does inspire me too.
I feel like you'll see a lot of those things in my poems. I'll reference a lot of those things.
I'm trying to remember the line.
Oh gosh.
See how my throat is a highway to the heavens. Something like
Oh,
that.
bonus point. The human body. This is a just disgusting, beautiful thing.
What's disgusting about it?
The human body,
I may have my ideas, but just trying to see yours.
just ew.
Ew.
The body could be so nasty.
Because
Whatever you eat has to come out. Sweat. Like when a body dies. Like it's
wow.
just.
Why are we at death?
It just reacts this guttural reaction, but at the same time, it's gorgeous. Like it produces life. The way it bends and like changes over time. Like God did these snap. When you made the human body, that's a God right there.
Okay.
That's my bonus.
Interesting.
My 6-headed Mount Rushmore.
Apparently it was on the 4. None of which is okay. So that's all really interesting. I feel like I would have people, which I also think is different. And I feel
Well, I
like
don't know nobody.
well, not even that, but not even that per se. Just like I think it's actually healthier for you to have inanimate things to almost be the thing that brings inspiration. Because I think if you are looking at people, then people have the ability to fail you.
Mm-hmm.
Not that animal just can't, but like the likelihood of the ocean failing you, it's pretty.
Pretty consistent.
Yeah, the waves are always gonna wave.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you're like, this person is always doing something creative, and then they stop, you're like, does that mean I need to stop too?
Right, that's crazy. Like what they got to do with you. That blows my mind.
If you weren't creating, what would you do in your life? Not be a receptionist, I know that, but
Well, I'll be a psychologist.
I feel like you're currently that.
A real one. Like I've actually
The
go to school
garden
for
was
it.
literally a psychology experience.
But like I would like go to school for it. Not that schools, give me validation, but people would be listening to me a little bit more. Boo.
You be printing stuff all the time. You can put letters behind your name. Just spell them right.
That show would make him up. I thought it was a PhD. No, baby, this is an HDP. You don't know about this one.
Oh my goodness.
I would probably study psychology and human behavior. It's intriguing.
So going back to your tour, what were some things you learned about yourself during the tour that you will use during the next iteration or whatever comes next?
Being particular. Staying true to my vision. Staying true to my vision. Being very guarded with who I let into the vision.
I think that's good.
I think those are top 2.
Dumpster.
Was it? Oh, that's crazy. What's the first thing I said?
You said particular, the vision. Maybe it was 2.
That's 2.
No, there was a third one.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna text you when I look at this back, but I told you there was 3.
I said being particular with the vision
Be
and who I
particular.
let into the vision.
And there was one more.
You gonna look crazy.
Alright, I always look crazy. Anyway, so with letting people in, I think this is something that's very hard for creatives in general.
Oof, yes, it is.
So I have a lot of questions with this. But I think the first question is, how do you weigh your visions with other people, or do you at all? Like if you came to me today, take me out of it because I'm the tour manager. No, that's fine. If you came to me today and you said, I want to do a tour that we shoot fire into the audience or something
Ooh,
like that.
I love that.
So if I responded back and said, that sounds cool, but maybe not. Like what is that? Would it ever register to you that you're like, maybe I should listen to somebody else. Like, tell me, like, what process would that be?
No, it doesn't register. It doesn't register. It depends on what aspect I'm referencing.
Okay.
But for the most part, I don't really ask for critique on my vision. I'll ask for critique on how do I do it.
Okay.
So I'm like, I want to shoot fire. I don't think we should. That wasn't the question. The question was, how are we going to shoot this fire?
Okay.
So it's more so like, yeah, that's more so how I am. Like, this is my vision.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you tell me if it's a safety risk, okay, cool. So how do we do it safely then? Like, I'm more so.
So if I said something like, you can't shoot fire out, but you can shoot it up.
Yes.
Okay. But your vision was to shoot fire into the audience.
Shoot fire into the audience.
But it's okay now that we're shooting it up.
Yes.
Okay. Or we can get some really good waivers. It'd be like, you still in the first 3 rows.
I ain't doing a lawsuit.
You will get singed.
Yeah. But that's, and I think part of that too, though, is like, too many hands in the pot
Mm-hmm.
makes a mess. And if other people aren't positioned where they need to be with themselves,
Mm-hmm.
they'll try to produce their vision through you because you're doing something and they're not.
Mm-hmm. Say that differently. That was good. But
Like,
I feel like somebody missed that.
if I'm scared of swimming,
Mm-hmm.
but you're swimming, all of a sudden I'm gonna try to be your coach and teach you how to do what I would do if I wasn't afraid to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want people to live vicariously through me. Cause
That's good.
no,
Just no.
just mm-mm.
That's good.
And two, there's just a lot, like, I think in my past when people have told me no, or that they shouldn't do it, or that I shouldn't do it, and then when I try, I be confused because I'm like, it worked. So now I'm looking at you sideways like, well, you told me I couldn't do this,
Mm-hmm.
but it's done.
So, have you ever doubted yourself?
Probably.
Or actually, no, I'll put it this way, because that was a really leading question, because in my mind, I was thinking back to the solo tour, and you were like, are people going to come? And I was like, yes. And you were like, I don't think so. And I was like, we put out the flyer and they bought tickets.
And I was like, I'm the only one on it. That's wow.
I guess the question is like, even with that doubt, because you were doubting in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
you weren't sure, why did you still push forward? Like, I think that was for me especially, and I think that some creators will get to that point and they'll stop because, like, you put out an event and be like, I don't know if everyone's gonna come. But I think some people will just, like, stop. But then some people will just push forward. You are the latter.
Because you'll never know.
So is there a purpose for the doubt at all?
Probably. I don't know.
Probably.
I think, like, I mean, it's building your confidence.
Okay.
It's building your trust in your own vision. Like, yeah, I doubted myself, but now you see me, I'm like, okay, bet. So the next tour I'm gonna do this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
It's more so like mapping out the next tour,
Mhm.
and less of me going, are they gonna come again?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not gonna keep doing this every year. Like, that's me. Like I'll doubt, I'll mess up, but I try to learn quickly.
So what are the? I don't want to say what are the things already for this next tour that you're considering, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent?
I mean, I want to do it bigger. I already have my theme.
So what does bigger mean? So to give clarity, this year we did like 50 seat venues, 50 to 70 seat venues in every city. We did 6 cities total. So like, what does bigger mean?
Bigger venues.
But how many? Like if
You know,
had to
I was
give-
just gonna ask you. 150.
Okay.
150.
Because I've learned not to tell you no. I just mean, you know what I'm saying? Someone donate. I'm gonna put some links in the show note. No, I'm not. It's gonna go straight up. Okay, so bigger venues.
More cities.
How many more cities? And I think the reason I'm like going through this exercise is because I think creatives need to think about scaling and scaling appropriately. And so like, if you said like 50, like we were at 50, right? And if you were like, Now I'm hearing background noise out of nowhere. That's annoying.
I love it.
But anyway, so we have 50 seats. And then if you said like, let's go to 300, I'd be like,
That's insane. I
What
was
a
thinking
scale.
10. Thinking 10.
okay, so
10? No, it's too small.
cities?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were talking about people. I was like,
Child.
that don't even make sense to go. Get them on the Zoom.
How much our ticket?
Right.
I was thinking
$100.
10. I was thinking 10 cities.
Okay.
I would like my graphic to be even next time. You know, like 5. So if I can't do 10, I gotta do
because
12.
you had one underneath
You know, it
it.
gotta be make it look cool.
So you're one of those people that only needs even numbers?
No, but for this, yes.
Okay. Okay, so more people, more cities. What else is different this time around?
Child, if I could really transform a place, I could, but I don't think that's gonna happen this go round. Bigger team,
What does the team consist of?
you,
What is you?
manager. I really have love to have somebody else to do merch just so you can relax.
Mhm.
You know, you done brought the whole thing together. We should do is sit down and enjoy the show.
I did enjoy the show.
I mean, yeah, but you also work the door and then you did merch. I would love to alleviate.
What else would I do?
Sit down and enjoy the show.
We'll talk about this later. why are we paying people to
We just talked about this.
I don't understand.
Tour manager.
Okay.
Kind of my person to just make sure I'm not forgetting anything.
Mm-hmm.
Video photography. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, you tell me. Your tour.
Video photography. Merch. Backup. Extra pair of hands for you.
The volunteers don't count?
No, they don't. Just for other logistics for you. Just you have extra hands. Who doesn't do something, do something. My mentee could be, I want a protege.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I-
You can
I
talk
would-
about this.
I would
yeah.
love to have a protege or somebody I'm mentoring
Mm-hmm.
on the road with me.
Oh, me too. Just find somebody. Does anybody want to work for share crew? We pay in food and most of the time money.
Yeah, I would love to have that option. Yeah.
Okay.
And fly my man out with me.
We're not gonna dig into that. It's not that type of podcast. What if they heard it? Y'all, we had fancy mics and everything. Apparently they rebelled it, but the whole cord just went up in smoke.
Speaking of fire.
Oh, yeah. I thought Jasmine was having a stroke. Because when the symptoms, you smell something burning. I worked in the ER.
That's what you don't know, background noise.
Just something else for me to be on somebody's couch about.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because we're going to unpack that.
I don't think there was noise in my house.
The vent, the AC, the heat.
I mean, but I hear it kick on and then it's gone.
There's a hum right now. You don't hear that. You can hear?
You talking about like the air conditioning unit outside?
Yes.
Why are you paying attention to that?
I'm not paying attention. It's on my radar.
Anyway. So, if someone was starting off in their creative journey, what is some good final advice to
Who
give someone?
cares what everybody is doing?
Oh?
You learn for yourself if water is wet. And look at
Is
what.
water wet?
Jump in, find out.
But is water wet
We're
or
not
does
doing
water
that.
make you wet?
We're not doing that.
Why not?
Because I hate that debate.
Why?
It's silly.
What's silly about it?
I don't know. It's so stupid. Is water wet? Don't upset me.
Too late.
And the biggest thing I could say is what's in your hands to do. There's more within your ability than you realize. You don't need the best of the best. You don't have to spend all this money. Use what's in your hands to do. Somebody will see what you're doing and they'll join in. You can't sell an idea. They have to see what are you doing, what have you done, what have you created, and they'll pour into that. They can't pour into an idea that they can't touch. That's it.
So
And
it's,
have fun. Jesus. Live. Make bad choices.
Oh.
What Miss Frizzle say? Make mistakes. Get messy. Magic school bus?
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
That's why they were always in somebody's stomach or some volcano.
But I feel like so many times as believers, we're afraid to live. But that's a whole other episode.
What do you think that is?
Because we're...
Say it quickly, Ethan said we almost out of time.
I feel like we have this fear of disappointing God.
Mm.
We become stagnant, and it's like, I won't move a muscle until if you tell me where to go. And I'm just like...
But how do you think someone discerns being in the will of God then? Like... Cause I think that's a real issue. Because in a way, some people were like, I don't want to put out this book because it may not be what God wanted me to do. I don't want to write this song because it may not be what God wanted me to do. Like, what do you say to them?
I'm sure he wants you to do something. It's better to steer a moving ship than one that's stuck in the harbor. Live your life.
You get the ocean a lot.
Just saying, like, you ever tried to steer a parked car? The wheel lock up on you at some point?
Yes.
That's us. We get locked up. Is this God? Is this not God? Should I go? Just live your life. He's an active God. Surely he has the means to get your attention if and when he needs to. Surely he can bring someone into your life. But he's not going to have your tour manager break into your home and say, hi, it's me who's been looking for me. You're going to have to get out and make a mistake. You're gonna make them anyway. You're going to make a dumb choice. Just like he wants to be a part of your life. Instead of you sitting there waiting, not having a life, thinking he's about to tell you, go left, my daughter, wear the blue shoes. Say hello to him on your left. What are we doing? Live your life. You see them disciples? Messy. They were just out here. But they were living. And Jesus was involved. So yes.
That's a whole nother.
I say live your life.
Okay. That's really good advice.
Thank
I
you.
don't think anybody would. I take my thank you. I take that. I got a little bit back. I don't think anybody would ever think that. People should be inviting you to panels.
Because I've been the person who was petrified of making a decision. I was, oh my
God. What
God.
did that look like? What was that, Jasmine?
When I
don't
was
think I've ever.
my first year in Bible school, and like there was just so much of studying the Bible. And you know, in Bible school, all of a sudden, your whole life is under a microscope. Is God pleased? Is he happy? Is this his will? Is this what he wants? Is this who he wants my friend to be? Is this? And it's like, I became terrified. Like, what if I make the wrong choice? What if I'm not in the will of God? What if I'm like, I was paralyzed. And it took someone going, you just gotta live. And let God be God. Like, a lot of times we want to say we want the will of God, but really we just want to be God. We want to make sure that we're constantly in alignment with him. Like, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Like Ecclesiastes say, chance happens to us all. We hate to read that verse.
We also hate to quote it correctly, but that's a whole nother thing.
We be quoting the tortoise in the air.
Go ahead and tell them.
The race
got given to the swift,
the
no strong. But what?
Doors to the end.
But that's
Maybe
not
that
what
ain't
it says.
Bible. That's not Bible. That's
Ecclesiastes
tortoise in the air.
9:11, it says what for real?
Chance happens to them all.
Time and chance happens to them all.
And so I just want believers to live their life. Invite God in. Acknowledge him in all of your ways. It doesn't say hold your ways hostage. It doesn't say like hold your ways hostage in a way to manipulate God to giving you an answer.
You trying to get a little video clip.
I'm just saying that's not what the
Get
text
served.
says.
Not in the last 30 minutes.
And we think it's holy. I'm not going to do anything until God tells me. You're not Jacob. You're not wrestling with him.
Oh.
You're not. We want to be Jacob so bad. I sit in a room all night trying to get God to talk to me. Okay, you sleepy. And he still ain't saying nothing. Live.
So it can't be Jacob, it can't be David either.
They be like, should I go right or left? And sometimes God is like, I'm talking to Abraham, pick a land. Wherever you go, I'm going with you. I'm going to bless you. I'm with you always. Hello, live. Live.
Let's see.
Live on top of the world.
Oh. 2 different songs.
I'm a believer. Take that song. Change your thinking. Ooh, edit that out. I can't get out of my head. Thanks for coming to
Let's get back to eating.
the Creators Will
Why are we going back to eating?
podcast. Living on top of the world. Top of. He's never gonna be on the stage with him now, but you just make fun of this song. That was my booking. Thank you for tuning in to I'm Justin Reeves.
And I'm definitely not Jasmine Sims.
What are the YouTubers saying? Smash the subscribe button.
I would never say that.
That's what Adonis be saying.
Smash the button. Go. Absolutely not. Push the button. Push the button. Push the. I need to watch my movies. That's what people need to do.
Whew.
Well, give us our benediction.
May the Lord watch between me and thee while we are apart. That's all I know. May his countenance shine.
This is why you didn't make it through Bible college. This is why you didn't make it through Bible college. Cause what?
Hold your neighbor's hand. What is it? I need you. You never did that? You need me. We're all a part of God's body. You're not swaying. Stand with me. Agree with
Thanks
me
for
is
watching,
wild.
everybody.
Agree with me? I don't even have a choice.
What?
Agree.
So you're just coming for everybody's song tonight.
Thought about it.
What other songs don't you like?
Listen to them.
Oh, the producer said we can't go down that road.
Across the hottest desert, I won't travel near or far. First of all, I'm gonna die.
Why?
The hottest desert?
In Isaiah,
Who's bringing the water?
it says you can cross through the deserts and I'll be with you. If I walk through the wilderness,
Mama
streams
didn't
and
have no
deserts.
air. I barely made it up the block in that car with no air. Are you kidding me? It's gotta be another way to get the glory.
So you. And that
Gotta
is
be
it.
another way.
That is it for the
Oh, I
night.
thought you stopped recording. Oh.
No. Tune in for new episodes whenever they drop. Stay tuned. Look out for everything that Jasmine's doing. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, she will be on her way to doing the soft storage rank, or maybe it'll be after. Who knows? Because I don't post stuff on time. So